president told supporters the election had been stolen.
He said they shouldn't take it anymore.
We will never give up. We will never concede.
They listened.
Washington, D.C. was not prepared for this in any way.
They'd essentially overtaken the front of the Capitol.
A woman was shot in the neck. CPR was administered.
National Guard, they are coming by the van loads.
Tonight, the United States Capitol is in chaos.
The invaders are not foreign, but domestic.
Our democracy is under unprecedented assault.
We knew today could get bad, but we never expected this kind of chaos in the nation's capital, where a curfew is now in effect.
This afternoon, the United States of America hit rock bottom. Knowing he would not succeed in overturning the results of an election he clearly lost, President Trump invoked the wrath of his supporters. And within minutes, the Capitol barricades had been torn down. Tear gas spilled into the rotunda. A woman was shot and killed. It's unclear by whom. And members of Congress crawled on their hands and knees to safety.
And President Trump watched it all unfold on TV. And eventually he tweeted that people should protest peacefully. And by then, it was too late. The president of the United States was hell-bent on dragging the country down with him in defeat. And his followers had proven all too willing to accelerate the descent.
Denver7's Megan Lopez begins tonight extensive team coverage. Megan?
Ann and Shannon, members of Colorado's congressional delegation tell me they are shocked and disappointed by what happened today. Members from both sides of the aisle condemned the riots, condemned what happened at the Capitol, but they said that they are determined to finish that process that they started today.
What purpose does the gentleman from Colorado seek recognition?
There are days every election people remember. Normally,
We of this Congress and this administration,
the certification of electors isn't one of them.
My primary objection to the counting of the electoral votes.
This time, after rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol, will be hard to forget.
We were told that tear gas had been fired in the chamber and that we should get our gas masks that were under all of the seats.
The speaker had left the chambers and we were replaced by the head of the Rules Committee.
I helped others grab some heavy furniture and move it in front of the doors to try to help the Capitol Police in securing the House floor.
While they moved furniture and ducked for cover, photographers clicked away, capturing this image of Colorado Representative Jason Crow getting on the ground. Eventually, lawmakers were evacuated and Colorado's delegation sent out tweet after tweet saying they were safe and condemning the act. In a tweet that has since been deleted, Representative Diana DeGette wrote, quote, "President Trump instigated a violent attack on our government in an attempt to remain in power against the will of the people. He should be impeached, removed from office, and arrested."
Representative Diana DeGette since put up a second tweet that didn't say the arrest part, but did use those strong words against the president. Now, something that you don't see every day is a joint statement coming out from Governor Jared Polis and from Congressman Ken Buck. They're on different sides of the aisle. They did put one out a short time ago, and it said, quote, "An assault on our democratic republic is an assault on all of us who believe in our Constitution and what makes this country extraordinary." They called for everyone to step up to protect democracy. Ann and Shannon.
It is certainly a wild day in history. All right. Thank you so much, Megan. And it is President Trump was apparently too busy to do more than tweet today. It fell to his successor to lead.
President-elect Joe Biden called the events of the Capitol an insurrection and implored the current occupant of the White House to do something about it.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege, to storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection. Think what our children watching television is thinking. Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we've seen today.
President Trump did eventually tweet a video in which he told people to stand down. Unfortunately, he also repeated his bogus claims that the election was stolen from him.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
The president's Twitter account is locked now, by the way. A few lawmakers were able to address the Electoral College proceedings before the situation just got out of hand today. Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert made especially sure her voice was heard.
The members who stand here today and accept the results of this concentrated, coordinated, partisan effort by Democrats, where every fraudulent vote cancels out the vote of an honest America.
Congressman Doug Lamborn of Colorado Springs joined Boebert in objecting to the results of the election. Everyone else sided with Congressman Joe Neguse.
The people have spoken. And that is why on December 14th, the Electoral College met to certify the election of a duly elected president, just as they've done for centuries. During terrible world wars, recessions, depressions, plagues, and pandemics.
Congress is meeting right now, in fact, to certify the election of Joe Biden as president of the United States, a process shielded by a constitution that has served us well for more than 2 centuries.
Now, arrests aside, protests at the Colorado state capitol remained largely peaceful, despite the presence, as you see there, of the Proud Boys. Denver7's Jason Grenauer is live with that tonight. Jason?
Yes, and good evening to you. We can tell you at this hour, at last check, there were only a handful of pro-Trump supporters that were down right along Lincoln Avenue here in front of the Capitol. We can tell you, though, that we have been told there were 3 total arrests. We witnessed 2 of them, including, or separate rather, from one individual who's actually nearly pushed into traffic. Luckily, no major injuries there. But we want to take you back to earlier on in the day where hundreds of people peacefully protested, some of them saying stop the steal, others repeating the president's claims that this election was fraudulent, that this election was stolen from him, and still others having opinions about what was going on at the same time in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Take a listen.
And you have people that feel their legitimate votes were not listened to or not even validated, and you have millions of votes that were cast that were illegal. What do you expect people to do? That is the seeds of revolution right there. And there are many people out there that are willing to do that, and that's what we're seeing in the United States Capitol at this time.
I spoke to nearly a dozen pro-Trump supporters, both on and off camera. None of them condemned the actions that were taking place in our nation's capital. But again, at this hour here outside the Colorado State Capitol, the fence is still up. Most of the protesters have gone home. This remained largely peaceful. Reporting live tonight, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver7.
What happened today is an unprecedented stain on our democracy, and we understand that many of you are angry or confused, and you are certainly not alone.
You're not alone, and you can share what you're going through with us by emailing 360@thedenverchannel.com. We're back after this.